first few weeks, I would say it went all right. So I got that account and I traded a few days, but then what happened was I got ill. So then I took some time off. And then when I got back into trading, I just got a bit excited with the account. I thought, I'm a 100K account trader. So I took two trades with 1% risks. Initial risk is 0.25%, 0.2%, depending on the actual confirmations and the confidence I have in the actual trade. So I did that, and then obviously it went up. I was up 2% point, but then it dropped down and hit my stop loss. So then obviously in that period, I would say that learning curve that you showed us, it was more of a crisis point for me, because I was like thinking to myself, I'm 0.5% down and I'm halfway from the max loss of me actually losing an account. So I spoke to you, spoke to Nadeem as well, and I was just liaising with you back and forth to see what I should do, what strategy I should do. So then you told me to actually go back to thinking you're just doing the challenge. Yeah. So back in the challenge, I was risking 0.25% per trade. But then, because obviously I was down 4.5%, I didn't want to risk 0.25%, so I went down to 0.2% per trade. I took it slow and I started creeping back into actual profit, and then it came back to my 2 weeks, I would say, is when I actually started coming back into those webinars. So I came back into those webinars, started speaking to, just being there, just see, like sometimes the grilling that I get from the webinars actually helps me, because I like criticism, because it helps me move forward. So I took that upon myself, and then I was like to myself, all right, cool. I'm down 4.5%, and I'm still in the account. I've still got the account. It's not gone there. So then I went back into trading, risk 0.2% back to my trading plan, stuck to the trading plan. And then last week, it came back to last week, and I was about break even. I was up like 1% break even. And then I was thinking to myself, shall I carry on trading, or shall I, do the next week and trade for the next week? And I just had confidence in myself, so I went back into trading, took a little bit of steep hills, drops, and then I came back up to like 2.6, 2.8%, and then I ended around about 2% at the end of the month.
2% for the first month. How was it different compared to trading in the challenge and verification?
I would say it should have been easier, to be honest, because obviously I had no target I had to achieve, nothing like that, no time limit or anything. But because I was so excited with me getting that account, I've never actually had that account before. So I thought that actually hit me a bit. But then once I started to realize that if I just stuck to my plan, if I stuck to the risk, I can actually take FTMO for a ride.
When did you last trade on a real account?
When I last traded on a real account, I think this was before I actually took the course. So I did take, before the course, I actually took many losses. I don't want to say the exact figure, but I would say it took a hit. But then at that same time, I looked at that hit as a learning process. Yeah, but then it's because I think that helped me as well. Because when I came into the actual course, I had that thought process of me not having that emotional attachment to my actual profits or my losses. Because I thought to myself, I've already made my losses. I know what I can do. And now I've been taught how to trade. And I've done so much back testing whilst I was in the course. So like, there's the course, but then there's work that you have to do outside of it. And I think I doubled down on the work outside of it, because I thought to myself that this is a life-changing skill. And once I get into that position, which is now, alhamdulillah, as a FTMO trader, is that now that can actually help me change things in my life, not for myself, but even for my parents, and just positive things that will change. Yeah, so when I got the FTMO account last month, so when I did that last video, I was doing that video in my head that I'm not an FTMO trader. I got the certificate, I got everything. My mentors were happy with me because they knew I was passed. But with me, in the back of my mind, I was like thinking, nah, it's not real. It's just a facade. So I was like to myself, I'm just gonna take this month, trade it, see how it goes. And then when I got my withdrawal, it was around about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I think that's when it actually hit me, because like that's when I realized that it's a serious thing now.
What was the process like? Did they ask you the account?
So the process first, it was once the profit split happened, because my profit split happened on a Friday, 27th.
Oh, 27th of November.
Yeah. So last week Friday.
Okay,
last week Friday. But then obviously they said that what's going to take 1 to 2 business days, and obviously Saturday, Sunday is not a business day, so I had to wait till Tuesday to get the actual email from them for the profit split. And then they'll tell you to actually go into the profit traders side of things, FTMO traders, and then there's a profit split where they actually ask you if you want to build the invoice yourself, or they can do it for you as they got an accounting department. I think that's a new thing that they've added. So I went with the accounting department one, and then another day or two later, I was trading.
They did your invoice.
They did my invoice and everything, yeah. But then, so that happened, and then I think this week was the actual profit split. On Monday was when I actually sent the email for the invoice. So that actually affected my trading in itself as well, because I was so clued up on the actual profit split, if I was gonna get it, if I wasn't gonna get it. And then I think a day later, when I got that, I got the refund for the actual challenge, because when you pay for it, they give you the initial challenge fee back.
How much was the challenge you paid for?
£500. Yeah, so I got that initial £500 back, and then I thought to myself, all right, it seems legit now, because obviously they're giving me money back. And another day or two went by, and then I was on live chat with them every single day just to see where it was, just to understand the process of it. And then about a day or two later, I actually received the actual withdrawal run about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And for me, it's that I look at it, my first month, it wasn't really a month, because the first 2 weeks I was ill, and then I came back with the actual me going against my plan. So I feel like, because then if you look at my curve, you can see from 4%, I was up until 2% positive. So that's around about 6.9% in 2 weeks. And the best thing about this is that there's no limit to it.
The first month overall profits, including refund, how much was that?
That was around about £1,500, yeah.
1,500.
Yeah.
So why did you choose not to compound that and withdraw it?
I think because I wanted to see the process first. I wanted to learn the process. Because at the end of the day, I could have compounded it, and maybe down the line, I could have been 10%, 15%. But then the initial withdrawal might not even happen. So it was just me wasting my time. But then so now I know that the withdrawal, how it works and everything, is that next time I go back into the markets for this month, it's that I have my own targets that I want to actually accomplish. So I don't really need to trade that much on a weekly basis, because my initial targets are really small. Because coming 2021 is that I do want to go for the second and the third 100K accounts. So I want to take that slow. My trades are mainly stuck. Like I have a like my losses, you'll see that they're very, very close together. It's maybe 0.2% is my max losses, other than the 0.9% that I lost.
What's the biggest amount you lost in the whole?
Biggest amount I've lost, I think it was around about 900.
900, the biggest,
yeah? Yeah, and my biggest profit was 2.4K.
Okay, risk reward.
Yeah.
Crazy risk reward.
Yeah.
And what was the trade? What did you mostly focus on? Did you focus on majors, cross pairs, gold?
With me, it's that I prefer majors, and then with cross pairs, I don't really need to do any analysis on it, because I would look at the majors. If I see a major trade coming up, I would straight away go to the cross pairs, and there's a few cross pairs that I have a love for, like the JPY pairs. I love them. They move really nicely. So I started initially trading with like Euro USD, USD CHF. Like I can trade those, NZD USD. I can trade all of them. Like I know how to trade each major, but I've found that some of the majors move slower than other majors. So then I started to have a liking for GPUSD, for instance, because it's a very volatile pair. And with me, it's that if I stick to my plan, I can catch those actual sniper entries. Like there's so many on my private log that you can see that I've actually got a precise entry on it, and it's just dropped and hit my TPs, which actually is a good thing, because it's giving me that confidence in my actual trading. So right now, my December goals right now, because it's the Christmas period, so the last week and a half, 2 weeks is pretty stale in the actual market. So I don't want to push for like a target that obviously I can push for a target, but then it's just I don't want to, because I've made my initial withdrawal first. I've got my refund for it. So I'll be happy with like 3 to 5% for this month as well. Because coming into January, hopefully, inshallah, I'm going to take January. I'm going to see how the first 2 weeks feel for me in January. And then my aim is to actually pass my second 100K account before March. I would say for me, because obviously in the past, like, obviously, I think everyone goes through it, depression and anxiety. So with me, it's that I was that kid that was always trying to learn something new. So I've gone into the business sector myself when I was like 17, 18 years of age. So I know what's the thought process behind it, how hard you have to work, what you have to put in. And obviously I know what it feels like to be down, and like I can literally say it on camera, like I have hit rock bottom a few times. But I feel like that's the best thing that can happen to a person, because once you hit rock bottom, that's when you're for sure going to bounce back. But a tip for me was that I've always had, my why was always that I did it for my mum. Like my mum was always my rock. So like me succeeding in trading or whatever I wanted to do was for her. So I know for a fact that hopefully, inshallah, like right now she doesn't even know that I've got withdrawal. I just want to see my mum happy. That's it, man. She's done a lot for me. So this is the actual certificate I got early this morning. It's just to show that you've actually done a withdrawal, which is pretty sick because obviously now I can actually keep this. And I think that they give this every single time. So every time you do a withdrawal, you get this withdrawal certificate. So which is pretty sick. Obviously, people might look at this and think it's small, but then you won't realize that how much work I had to put in this. I didn't have to put that much work to actually trade. Like trading, maybe I would say in the whole month, I must have traded overall in about 15 to 20 hours just for this. And it's like and it's not me just sitting on the charts 15, 20 hours. It may be 20 minutes on the charts, but just me watching the charts at the same time. So it's a chilled thing. So let's just say that was 3 months' wages of what I used to work at before. So
It's definitely a start. Hopefully we'll see you again.